Qureshi. I am the CEO and co-founder of Skoon. We're on a very simple mission, which is to empower people to revolutionize home energy at nation scale. And I am delighted to be joined on that journey by an incredible team, not least of which are my co-founders. Now, slightly confusingly in this picture, I'm wearing a white collar, and here I'm wearing a blue collar, which I realized halfway through just ruins the shtick of the whole thing. But I come from a white collar background. My co-founder, Matt, our CPTO, is stood in the front there, comes from a white collar background. Adam does not. He comes from a blue collar background. He has been and is a heating engineer. He's had his hands on the devices, on the equipment, on the actual tools to get this done. Well, my journey started with this. This is my house. Doesn't look like that now. That was what happened during a deep renovation that I undertook as part of sort of basically quitting corporate life. I tried to get a heat pump, and the blue collar workers helping me to do that, the builders, the engineers, the heating engineers, said, don't do that. It won't work. And I tried to push back on it a little bit, but not enough, and ended up very shamefully with one of these, which is, for those of you that don't know, a gas boiler. Now, boo, that's right. The reality is that behind the boo is 20% or thereabouts of the UK's carbon emissions. And indeed, that number is pretty much the same for most of the Northern Hemisphere, where we are using dinosaur juice in explosion boxes to heat our homes. And there is a better way. And so I went on a journey of discovery about that way, and I went across many different areas, one of which was attending some of the big trade shows. This is coming up if you can recognize what it is. And I spoke to people who were working on this problem, and I was excited. I spoke to people working in data, people who had done vast studies on the various different methods we could use to decarbonize, people working on tech from my background, who were telling me that these silly plumbers just need to use APIs and everything will be fixed. People working on architectural design. I met some incredibly enthusiastic passive house systems designers who told me that passive house is the only way we're going to solve this problem. And people who are essentially working on process re-engineering. All of these are white-collar disciplines that we've learned potentially from a white-collar background and are applying to the climate problem. It wasn't until I had the absolute pleasure of meeting Adam and his network, his community of the fine gentlemen and some women working on this challenge at the coalface, the ones who are taking the boilers out, plumbing the heat pumps in, drilling in the dusty environments, that I started to really understand the nature of the problem. And that problem resides almost exclusively right now, and maybe that will change, on the supply side of this market and in the expertise, the passion, the energy, the dedication of our blue-collar colleagues who are up and down this country working on this challenge day in, day out. And so that lies at the heart of our solution. Our system is designed to be a two-sided marketplace that connects homeowners with their local independent renewable installer, trained, supported, educated by Geek and by the brands that we put out there. Yes, with algorithms. Yes, with data. With some really snazzy tech, thank you, Matt. But all designed to empower that engineer. Not designed to remove them from the equation. However much Elon tries to convince us, no robot is ever going to come and do this, nor should it. Because it's fundamentally a human transaction, and one between a homeowner and the trusted installer that's been fixing their heating system for many years, that we believe is the unlock to this. And that's why we are growing a very large installer network across the country of independent engineers. And we work day in, day out with those engineers to try and build systems, processes, and tools that support them to work at this problem at scale. And that's, I think, the only reason that we've had this North Star and have been able to say that we are upgrading real homes. These are all real homes, anonymized from the Google Maps data. And in every single case, at the end of that transaction, when someone decarbonizes their home, we upgrade, but we help them save money and CO2. And it's the aggregate of those instances that we think is the solution to the problem. Now, I probably couldn't have picked a better trio of founding. It's a shame Adam couldn't make it tonight. But I believe that we can all, in our climate journeys, look beyond the algorithms, look across the table and talk to, listen to, and potentially deeply integrate with the people who have got their hands on the tools, the people who are actually doing the hard graft. And I think it's through that we will unlock the, mission that we're on to, which is to empower people to revolutionize home energy at nation scale. Thank you.